An underground river that starts here and flows right under the pasture, and then, well, who knows? Like I've read of in books, connected to one of those underground brooks. An underground river that starts here and flows right under the pasture, and then, well, who knows? It might go along down where no one can see, right under State Highway 203, right under the wagons, right under the toes of Mrs. Umbroso, who's hanging out clothes. It might keep on flowing, perhaps, who can tell? Right under the people in Sneeden's Hotel, right under the grass where they're playing croquet, then under the mountains and far, far away. This might be a river, now mightn't it be, connecting McElligot's pool with the sea? Then maybe some fish might be swimming toward me. If such a thing could be, they certainly would be. Some very smart fellow might point out the way to the place where I'm fishing, and that's why I say, if I wait long enough, if I'm patient and cool, who knows what I'll catch in McElligot's pool. It was a dark and family home north of the city, and began walking along nearby North Carolina Highway 18 despite heavy rain and wind. Several passing motorists saw her, and when one turned around at a point 1.3 miles from her home and began to approach her, she left the roadside and ran into a wooded area. In the morning, her parents discovered her missing from her bedroom. No one has seen her since. A year and a half later, her book bag, still packed, was unearthed from a construction site along Highway 18, north of Shelby, in Morganton. The book bag had been buried and was wrapped in 2 garbage bags. At the point where she ran into the woods, a billboard now stands, appealing for help finding her. Her family hosts an annual walk from their home to the billboard to draw attention to the case. While the circumstances of Degree's disappearance at first seemed to suggest she was running away from home, investigators could not find a clear reason she might have done so, and she was younger than most children who do. Years after her disappearance, it was concluded by authorities that Degree had been abducted following her leaving the home. The case has drawn national media attention. In 2015, the Federal Bureau of Investigation joined state and county authorities in a reopened investigation, offering a reward for information that could help solve the case. Harold and Akila Degree married on Valentine's Day in 1988. Their son, O'Brien, was born a year later. Asha was born in 1990. The Degrees raised both children in their house on Oakcrest Drive in a residential subdivision amidst a generally rural area north of Shelby, North Carolina, on the western edge of the Charlotte metropolitan area. Both worked regular jobs nearby. Harold was a dock loader, and Akila worked for Kaway America Manufacturing, building pianos. The children let themselves in after school, where their parents expected that they would either be doing their homework or finished with it by the time they returned. They made sure their children were insulated from outside influences and had a life centered around their extended family, church, and school. The Degrees did not have a computer in the house. Every time you turned on the TV, there was some pedophile who had lured somebody's child away via the internet.
What's going on?
I don't know, I just was talking to her and she said come down and visit her. I have a compulsion with for younger women, just meeting them. I've met about a dozen of them online.
Did you ever get in trouble for it?
Well, I got in trouble because I met a girl in Michigan.
And how old was that girl?
17.
And what trouble did you get in there?
Well, her grandfather wanted me to try to charge me with something they couldn't do, and
Akila recalled in a 2013 Jet interview. Akila said Asha handled this well. She was cautious, shy, and content mostly to stay within the limits her parents set. She was scared to death of dogs, she recalled years later. I never thought she would go out of the house. Asha was in 4th grade at nearby Falston Elementary School, going into a 3-day weekend on the 2nd week of February 2000. The Cleveland County schools were closed on Friday, February 11th, while the Degrees still had to work. The children spent the day at their aunt's house in the same neighborhood from which they went to their youth basketball practices at their school. The following day, Asha's basketball team, on which she was a star point guard, lost its first game of the season. Her parents recalled that she was somewhat upset about this, crying along with her teammates afterwards, but seemed to have gotten over it and watched her brother's game later that day. On February 13th, a Sunday, the children went to church from a relative's house and then returned home. Around 8 p.m. that night, both children went to bed in the room they shared. Almost an hour later, the power went out in the neighborhood after a nearby car accident. The power came back on at 12:30 a.m., at which time Harold checked on his children and saw both Asha and O'Brien sleeping in their beds. He checked again shortly before he went to bed at 2:30 a.m. on February 14th and again saw them both. Shortly afterwards, O'Brien, then aged 10, recalls hearing Asha's bed squeak. He did not further rouse himself, as he assumed she was merely changing positions in her sleep. Apparently around this time, Asha got out of bed, taking a book bag she had previously packed with several sets of clothes and personal items, and left the house. Between 3:45 and 4:15 a.m., a truck driver and a motorist saw her walking south along Highway 18, wearing a long-sleeved white t-shirt and white pants just north of its junction with Highway 180. They reported this to police after seeing a TV report about her disappearance. The motorist said that he turned his car around because he thought it was, quote, strange such a small child would be out by herself at this hour. He circled 3 times and saw Degree run into the woods by the roadside and disappeared. It was a rainy night, and the witness said there was a storm raging when he saw her. County Sheriff Dan Crawford said, "We're pretty sure it was her because the descriptions they gave are consistent with what we know she was wearing." He added that they also saw her at the same place, heading the same direction. Akila awoke at 5:45 a.m. to get the children ready for school. This involved drawing a bath for them because they had not been able to take one the night before due to the power outage. When she opened the children's room to wake them up before their 6:30 alarm and called them to the bath, O'Brien was in his bed, Asha was not, and Akila was unable to find her in the house or in the family cars. She told Harold she could not find their daughter. He suggested Asha might have gone over to his mother's house across the street. When Akila called there, her sister-in-law said Asha was not there. That's when I went into panic mode. I heard a car next door. I put shoes on and ran outside. Akila called her mother, who told her to call the police. By 6:40 a.m., the first police officers had arrived on the scene. Police dogs, called to the scene, could not pick up Asha's scent.
Why were the police dogs unable to pick up Asha's scent? They are usually pretty good at that.
Akilah went through the neighborhood, calling Asha's name, which she said had awakened everyone by 7 a.m. Friends, family, and neighbors canceled their plans for the day to assist police in searching the vicinity, while the pastor of their church, along with other area clergymen, came to the Degrees' home to support them. By day's end, all that had been found was a mitten, which Akilah Degree said did not belong to her daughter, noting that no winter clothing had been taken from the house. Local news coverage prompted the two drivers who had seen Asha walking along the road early that morning, including the one whose attempt to approach her apparently prompted Asha to flee into the woods, to report the sightings to the police. On February 15th, a man who owned a local upholstery business discovered candy wrappers that matched the candy Asha was given at her last basketball game on the ground in the doorway of his tool shed. The shed sat west of the highway where the driver saw Asha run into the woods. Also found were a white 1996 Atlanta Olympics pencil, a green marker, and a Minnie Mouse hair bow, which were all identified as belonging to her. Also found was a wallet-sized photograph of a black girl around Asha's age who is yet to be identified. It was the only trace of her found during the initial search. On February 16th, Akilah realized that Asha's bedroom was missing her favorite clothing, including a pair of blue jeans with a red stripe. A week later, the search was called off after 9,000 man-hours had been invested in a search of the 2 to 3 mile radius of where she had last been seen. Flyers had been posted all over the area, and 300 leads had been submitted that ranged from possible sightings to tips about abandoned houses and wells where Asha might have ended up. "We have never really had that first good, substantial lead," said County Sheriff Dan Crawford at a news conference. He urged the media to keep the story alive. At the news conference on February 22nd, 2000, Crawford said he was going long range with the search for Asha. Both the Federal Bureau of Investigation and North Carolina's State Bureau of Investigation got involved and put her on their respective databases of missing children. While the agencies were done searching in the area of her home en route, "We are following everything," Crawford insisted. From Akilah's account of what Asha had taken with her, investigators believed she had planned and prepared for this departure over the several days preceding her disappearance. "She's not your typical runaway," observed SBI agent Bart Barpeau. Another expert, Ben Ermini of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, noted that most children who run away are at least 12. An FBI agent also pointed to the lack of an issue she might have been running away from, such as a dysfunctional family or poor academic performance. Still, investigators believed that was the most likely explanation for her departure, but that for some reason she either got off track or was abducted. On August 3rd, 2001, Asha's book bag and other items were discovered during a construction project off Highway 18 in Burke County near Morganton, about 26 miles north of Shelby. It was wrapped in 2 garbage bags. The worker who found it said the book bag contained Asha's name and phone number. The FBI took it to their laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, for further forensic analysis. Results from that testing have not been shared publicly. To date, it is the last evidence found in the case.
Still got hope and faith that one day that we won't have to make that walk no more, that she will be home.
Just bring her back home. Help me get my family back.
When a child is missing, it's worse than death. Because with death, you've got closure. With this, you don't know.
We're the new kids on the block. Now you can hang tough with us 24 hours a day on our brand new hotline. Just pick up your phone and call us on 1-900-9095-KIDS.
Asha left her bedroom in the overnight hours with her book bag. Two people separately reported seeing a little girl walking along Highway 18 around 4 in the morning. A year and a half later, her book bag was found 30 miles away in Burke County.
Why did the police not find any footprints from Asha? Why was Asha's book bag wrapped in 2 plastic garbage bags? If someone murdered her, wouldn't they have simply thrown the book bag in the trash? Maybe they were in a hurry, like they did not want to have the book bag sit in some type of trash receptacle for a few days waiting to be picked up. Were the authorities correct about Asha's book bag being packed in advance? In one version of the timeline, Asha fell asleep on the couch before going to bed. This makes it seem as though she was trying to set herself up for a departure, like she wanted to stay awake or be close to the door, or both. If Asha had planned this in advance, how did she wake herself up without using an alarm? Perhaps she was so upset that she never fell asleep in the first place.
Wow, I like that.
On a chilly and stormy Sunday evening in the small rural town of Shelby, North Carolina, 9-year-old Asha Degree and her family are watching basketball on TV. An hour into the game, the electricity goes off.
Whole neighborhood went pitch black.
Asha's father, Harold, brings in a kerosene heater from the utility shed.
They went in there and they did go to sleep.
Just after midnight, the power is restored.
Good night, sweetie.
I'll be up and wait for this heater to cool down, all right?
All right, sweetie.
Asha's 10-year-old brother O'Brien tells the investigator that his sister's book bag has disappeared.
It was fairly easy to realize what was missing. Asha always kept her stuff tidy.
This case has led to a lot of speculation because any theory that explains it is extremely unlikely, even by the standards of theories typically used to explain mysterious disappearances. There is this sense that the public is not aware of all the facts in the case. Like perhaps the timeline must be different, there must be other evidence about contact that Asha had with other people. There is a piece of information out there somewhere that would make one theory more plausible. If this missing puzzle piece doesn't exist, then we are left with unsatisfying theories, none of which make much sense, yet one of them must be true.
On the 20th anniversary of Asha's disappearance, the FBI confirmed that the book bag contained a copy of Dr. Seuss's McElligot's Pool and a t-shirt depicting the band New Kids on the Block. Neither appeared to have been her property before they were found in her bag. The book was from the library at her elementary school. Unfortunately, records of who checked the book out do not go as far back as 2000. Later leads have turned out to be dead ends. In 2004, Acting on a tip reportedly received from an inmate at the county jail, the sheriff's office began digging at an intersection in Lawndale. The bones that were found turned out to be from an animal. Pictures of Asha, both real and those showing her as she might appear in later years, created by investigators to help with the search, still decorate the Degree house. I fully expect her to walk through the door, Akilah says. Akilah Degree lamented in a 2013 interview with Jet that her daughter's disappearance had not gotten as much media attention over the years as some subsequent cases of missing children because Asha was black. Missing white children get more attention. I don't understand why, she said. I know if you ask them, they'll say it's not racial. Oh, really? I'm not going to argue because I have common sense. In February 2015, the FBI announced that FBI agents, Cleveland County Sheriff's Office investigators, and State Bureau of Investigation agents were re-examining the case and re-interviewing witnesses. They also announced a reward of up to $25,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. A community group is offering an additional $20,000 reward. The FBI announced 15 months later, in May 2016, that their reinvestigation of the case had turned up a possible new lead. They disclosed that Asha may have been seen getting into a dark green, early 1970s Lincoln Continental Mark IV, or possibly a Ford Thunderbird from the same era, along Route 18, near where she was last seen later that night. It was described as having rust around its wheel wells. In September 2017, the FBI announced that its child abduction rapid deployment team was in Cleveland County to assist in the investigation and provide on-the-ground investigative technical behavioral analysis and analytical support to find out more about what happened to Asha. Since September 2017, local agents and investigators have conducted approximately 300 interviews. In October 2018, the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office detectives appealed for information from the public about 2 items of interest that were found in Degree's book bag: McElligot's Pool, a children's book by Dr. Seuss, which was borrowed from the Falston Elementary School library in early 2000, and a New Kids on the Block concert t-shirt. An investigator said that the items are vital clues. In November 2020, an inmate named Marcus Mellon was convicted of sex crimes against children in 2014, wrote a letter to the Shelby Star claiming that Degree was murdered and he knows where to find her. In February 2021, Cleveland County Sheriff Alan Norman announced that Mellon's claims had led to another dead end. In order to solve the case, we first need to know why Asha left the house that night. Some believe she was sleepwalking. Others believe she was indeed running away from home for some unknown reason. Or, perhaps the most likely reason, she was going to meet someone. Possibly meeting a school-aged friend for an innocent Valentine's Day engagement, or more sinisterly, into the clutches of a child predator who had been grooming her, unbeknownst to her family. Children are far more likely to be kidnapped by someone they know, and it very well could have been someone from her church, school, or extended family. Asha is known to have been afraid of the dark and storms, which indicates that whomever she was meeting was someone she fully trusted. Supposing the New Kids on the Block t-shirt belonged to the predator, it can be determined that they were fairly young themselves, as the band had reached their peak popularity in the 1980s. If the predator was indeed an 80s kid, that would have made them either a preteen, teenager, or young adult at the time of Asha's disappearance. Some have theorized that Asha might have been inspired by a book her class was reading called Whipping Boy by Sid Fleischman, in which two boys go on a nighttime adventure. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that a 9-year-old child would come up with a grand adventure to set out on based on something they read in a book. Which brings us to McElligot's Pool by Dr. Seuss, the book found in Asha's unearthed backpack. Early in the picture book, a highway is depicted, underneath which the titular pool flows. It's even referred to as a state highway, not unlike Route 18, which Asha was walking down. Someone may have given Asha this book as a gift to gain her trust. Asha loved books and wanted to be an illustrator when she grew up. What if this book was meant to serve as an instruction manual for Asha, letting her know she needed to walk down a highway before the sun rose on February 14th? In the book, the highway leads to the ocean, and, creepily enough, there are large bodies of water, only 7.5 miles from Asha's house on Oakcrest Drive, Boland's Fishing Lake, and Kings Mountain Reservoir. You would get to both by traveling down Highway 18. Why would Asha's supposed predator want her meeting them at a lake? That's where the significance of the date comes in, February 14th, Valentine's Day, which also happens to be her parents' anniversary. What if the predator offered to help create an anniversary gift for her parents? Remember, Asha brought with her not a winter's jacket, but her favorite clothes. These outfits were apparently well coordinated, with several articles of clothing featuring Tweety Bird. She may have believed she was going to have portraits done of her, which would have been a last-minute anniversary present for her parents. The pencil and marker could have been used for a card she was also planning on making. And then there is the mysterious portrait of the young girl. It's possible the child predator gave the picture to Asha to show her their supposed portrait photography skills. The picture appears to be a sample photo, which would explain the lack of any identification on the girl over the years. And finally, the power outage. What if the car crash that caused it was intentional?
Oh man, that's unheard of. An accident like that, who could have foreseen that, man? Fucking car accident.
What if the predator forced bath time to be rescheduled to distract Tequila while Asha ventured farther and farther away from the house? The predator may have known of the family's nightly and morning routines and engineered the power outage to disrupt their sense of normalcy.